City TV is celebrating an incredible milestone today. It is our 50th anniversary. We started as the scrappy underdog that broke all the traditional rules. If you'll indulge me, let me take you on a trip through our past. We're pretty proud of our accomplishments.
Scandal deepens. Homeowners' nightmare. City Pulse with Gord Martineau, Deanie Petty, John Saunders. And the City Pulse news team brings you Toronto News. Good evening.
The whole idea of City News was to be different, to bring viewers along with us during a day in the life of the city with stories told in a new way, raw and from the streets.
Good shots of the action.
Great downtown, City News.
People that watch us think that this is their baby too, just because they feel so close to us.
It's different than what anybody else in town is doing. I think we feel closer to the people. I think the people feel closer to us.
We'll have all of that in a moment, but first, live to Gord.
We're live from the Vishnu Temple at the center of another of our new multicultural communities.
Our reporters didn't just tell the stories, many lived them. Like the late Bob Hunter, who co-founded Greenpeace and once put himself between commercial whalers and a whale they were hunting. He was the original eco-warrior.
Please stop killing the whales.
In case anybody back in the city wonders how it's done, how an old-growth forest dies, this is it, one tree at a time.
City's philosophy, guided by Moses Neimer, one of City TV's founders, was to reflect the diversity of the people who live in Toronto. The newsroom's raison d'etre has always been giving a voice to those who were often voiceless.
Jojo Chinto from City TV.
My strength is in dealing with people, one-on-one, out there on the street. And that's the way I choose to, bring their stories to you.
We're going to get a little bit of everything.
As Norville would say, all is well, we are one in spirit.
We had many firsts, from Duke Redbird, who was the first Indigenous reporter in this country. David Onley also broke barriers.
Well, the space elevator could do for space in the 21st century what the telephone did for communications in the 20th.
David, some 30 years ago, you were the first person with a visible disability hired for news in this country.
Yes, that's true. The thought at the time wasn't that I was the first, that it was more that I was just glad to have this job. And then, you've seen this happen before. Then what happened was, as I was starting to go around on the weekends and things like that, people would say hi. Disabled people would. And then it hit me, the impact. To this day, if I'm out and about and somebody recognizes me, most of the people say, I remember you from City TV.
That's saying a lot, considering David left City News after 22 years when he became the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario.
I'm the City Pulse Live Eye, from back alleys to boardrooms.
City revolutionized news. It introduced the first microwave live eye in the country in the 80s.
I'm part of City Pulse, the eyes of Toronto.
We called it the Dead Eye because it was put together in our chief engineer's driveway with bits and parts from all over the place.
It revolutionized news. We could go live from the field.
Oh, and we would look for every excuse to go live.
When it was retired, it was mounted outside our former station on Queen Street West.
I'm a jammer, and this here is real concrete.
No one has had more fun telling stories than city personalities.
You don't need an awful lot in the way of equipment, a Speedo, a good arm, and lungs of steel. 1 out of 4 ain't bad.
You look hot.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere.
There you go. Thank you so much. Service with a smile.
But we have been there covering the stories that shook us all as well.
Mr. Bernardo is serving a life sentence.
In my hand are a detailed statement of facts of the atrocities carried out by serial killer Bruce McArthur.
While we grieved and celebrated with Toronto during the past 50 years.
The Raptors get another shot at history tonight in Game 6.
City has always been a family. Many of us literally grew up in the newsroom, from those behind the scenes to those in front.
Caravana revelers have been jumping up on the lakeshore since 1991.
Inside, you can hear them as clearly, and they've been acknowledged a couple of times.
Why have you stayed all these years?
City TV was my dream job, my absolute dream when I was a kid. I love it because of what it stood for. It is
an incredible part of Toronto's cultural fabric. My little Tammy, my little self, wouldn't even believe that I'm here.
What the hell? Watch it, buddy.
As a family, we still mourn those we have lost who made an indelible impression. Peter Silverman, who strove to help people find justice when they had nowhere else to turn.
Don't you do that! I'll get out, but don't you try to kill me!
Colin Vaughan, who made politicians shake when he called them out.
Well,
Do you want to have a look at it?
No, but if you want me to take a look at it, I'd be glad to, and I hope it's factual. Well, it's just full of usual political BS.
And Mark Daly, known for his incredible voice and irreverent humor.
Sports with Catherine, and the Leafs are up and down like a toilet seat in a co-ed washroom.
Gone, but never forgotten. So many talented people have worked at City over the years. It is only appropriate to give the incomparable Mark Daly the last word as we begin our next 50 years, bringing you a life in the day of Toronto and the GTA.
From Yonge and Dundas, this is City TV Everywhere.
And I have to acknowledge all the incredible writers, producers, editors, and technical staff who got us to air every night, even though we weren't sure we were always going to make it. I have had the incredible pleasure of working with so many talented people in the past, and now those who are taking us into the future. And to all of you who have been watching us over the years, thank you. We are here because of you and for you. Cynthia Mulligan, City News.